this one's for the fellas. Do you have 5 tips for men when it comes to dating? Like just 5 general tips.
Yeah, okay. So,
yeah, and it would be great if it can apply to women as well.
yeah, sure, okay. So, one of the things was kind of what I said before is know your outcome. So know what you want to get out of dating, know the type of person, and actually be more specific than not. So a lot of people, they think that if they're too specific about what they want, that they're going to sort of remove too much, like too many opportunities. But I found the opposite to be true, because, I mean, you can see from the divorce rates and everything in today's society and dysfunctional relationships that something's not working. And it's because people aren't being particular enough about who they're choosing. So you need to have, like, really sort of take some time to write down exactly who it is that you want. And even I even advise, like, my clients to actually make almost like a vision board, like where they have, you know, this I want a girl with this kind of hair and this kind of face and this kind of body and this kind of dresses this kind of way, and maybe she has this kind of sense of humor, and she likes to do these activities, and be really, really specific. So what that does is it means that when you get out there meeting people, you're coming from a place of choosing as opposed to settling, because most people are settling, and they're sort of that if they meet somebody that will have them, that's how they sort of find their partner. But I believe that you should be choosing somebody who's also looking to choose someone like you, so you have 2 people that actually want each other, instead of somebody who just wants somebody and someone else who will just accept that.
And
so that's the first one.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
The second.
You're like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I've been doing this for the last 7 years, so I can talk a lot. So the second thing would be just be yourself, but be your best self. So a lot of people, they don't try to put their best self forward. So what I would say is, you know, go out there. Every person you meet, you never know, could be potentially somebody that you could have a good connection with. So you always need to be putting in the extra effort. And this could be in terms of, you know, go the extra mile to wear something nice when you go out to any social occasion. And because you never know who you could meet. You know, even just if you wear like a bit of aftershave or perfume, you know, make sure you've had a haircut, or, you know, things like that. Just look good, because you never know. And then obviously when you look good, you feel good. So that would be one other thing. Also put yourself in the position where you can meet new people.
Right.
Because so many people they're saying, I never meet anyone. I never meet anyone new.
Yeah.
But they're not actually putting themselves in positions where they could meet people. So start attending more events. Start saying yes to more things. So when somebody says, hey, I'm going to go do this new thing, and they said, would you like to come? Instead of saying, oh no, you know, it's not really, just go. You know, just go and see what happens, go meet some people, and you never know what could actually happen. So that would be another one.
2 more tips.
In terms of communication, so this is 4. So communication is actually mostly body language, and people forget this. So I found in conversations, particularly with men, that one of the biggest complaints we have from our clients is they run out of stuff to say. Okay? So run out of stuff to say syndrome, or that awkward silence that happens. So just realize that most of communication is body language. So that this means that you need to be standing well, you know, standing up straight and have good posture. This applies to men and women, obviously. The next thing is have a nice smile, okay, because it's friendly and non-threatening. Have good eye contact, because a lot of people, they can't actually look in someone in the eye, and you feel like you can't trust them, because when people hide their eyes, you know, you can tell a lot from somebody's eyes. So if they're not looking at you, it's like they're trying to hide something. So just say at least 60% of the time you should be looking at somebody in the eyes. Yeah, but not staring. Not like constantly staring at them. Yeah. So body language is important.
Do you think you want to share Pussycat Theory? I really
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's important for them to know, men and women.
Yeah, okay.
What's the pussycat?
You're
So
about to find out.
yeah. So there's a theory about like when you play with a cat and a string,
Right.
if you hold the string too far away from the cat, it gets bored and it goes away. But if you put the string too close, like if you give the cat the string, it gets bored and it goes away. So in an interaction, it's important that you keep it interesting. I've heard one of the complaints about Singaporean men is that they're boring, and it's because they're playing it safe. Most people are actually playing to not lose as opposed to playing to win. Okay, so this applies in dating as well. So because they're more afraid of failure and more focused on failure than they are of getting what it is that they want, they're actually causing themselves to be nervous and just play it really safe and level and boring, and it's just not interesting. So I would encourage people to be more out there and just really demonstrate their true personality, because don't just be like everything's nice and fun and I like you, you're friendly, you're interesting. Also bring in some teasing and sort of like, because that's what flirting is. It's just like a playful teasing and bit of banter between two people. So by introducing opportunities to sort of tease the other person, like mildly and from a place of fun, not from a place of trying to put them down, but just from a place of fun. That's the key, and with a smile, so they know that you're just being silly. And so you want to be like, oh, you're really nice, I'm enjoying talking to you, and it's like a hi, and then you're like, oh, what, you like that? Really? Like I did, like sort of like, and then you're kind of pushing them away a bit, like, and then go, oh no, I'm just kidding, you're actually really nice, and maybe give them a hug, and then sort of like, so then it's nice again, and then sort of you want to be alternating between the two, and it keeps some interest in the conversation. It's like the cat with the string, when you're sort of playing, and it's sort of like trying to get it for ages, as opposed to just flat. Yeah. So really, just know that it's okay to demonstrate those aspects of your personality. Otherwise, you're going to fail anyway. So, people are just playing it too safe, really. That they're worried to have any kind of negative part of a conversation because they think that it's going to scare the other person away. But the truth is, what creates tension is that the highs and the lows, the positive and the negative, so that it's like stretching an elastic band. You've got like the two tensions that wants to come together. So, that would be like something that's important too.
Now, do you think that Singaporean men in particular are very prone to this, like just keeping things very, very safe?
I think so. They seem very nice, like very, very nice. And I think the problem isn't that they're going to be mean to a girl or mistreat a girl. The problem is that they're so nice that they don't have personal boundaries. So because they want to keep everything nice and they don't want to upset somebody, they don't want to do anything that would upset them and that they wouldn't want to see them anymore. They do everything they can to keep the other person happy, but they'll even do it at their own expense.
Right.
So because they don't have those firm personal boundaries, people will take and take and take and take till they get to a boundary. But if they never find a boundary, then you're just going to get walked all over. And I've found personally, and through all my clients, and I teach them, they need to have firm boundaries of what behaviour they do and don't accept from people, because otherwise the person won't respect them. So for men and women, they both need to just know what's important. That's why I said, at the start, you need to choose the type of person you want, because if they're outside those criteria, that's where the boundary is. So that's what gives you your boundaries. So for instance, if you wanted somebody who was always on time, that's important to somebody. But if somebody was late every time they came to meet you, or you were dating or whatever, then it's going to get upsetting to you. Now, for instance, like a lot of guys or women would let that behaviour happen and happen and happen and happen, and it would just upset them to the point where eventually they might just have enough with it. So it's about really establishing that from the start, and if it keeps happening, then either say something, and then if it doesn't change, then you might just want to choose somebody else.